Imagine if your body is going through withdrawal. You're soaked in sweat, but at the same time, you're hot. You're being cradled by your mom to sleep, but you can't fall asleep because the pain in your body, your restless legs, the addiction has gotten so bad that when the day you stopped, the day you were forced to stop, ex-girlfriend now called my parents telling her to pick me up because, this guy, he has to get sober. She found out everything about my addiction, this, that. Thankfully, guardian angel in my life, we're no longer together. Everything happens for a reason. I found, ran into someone else and then another person and somehow found my soulmate. But that's a story for another time. That was a very low time in my life, sitting there waiting, because I'd been through withdrawal before, so I knew that there's a timeline for it, that as long as you can sit there and push through the pain and not use, as long as you can sit there in hell, and that the way you can fix it, by the way, I'm going to go into this book later on, but the only way you can fix it, and you can have the immediate fix of the body pain, the physical, mental torture, by going to the substance you're using. It could be anything. It could be sugar for you. It could be alcohol. It could be really hard stuff. It could be literally procrastinating, sitting there. It could be anything. In my case, my addiction was strong. So coming off of it, I did have tremendous physical symptoms to the point where, you got to take off work. I was living a life, I'd moved away. I was with this girlfriend of mine at the time, where we were together for maybe 2 to 3 years, long term. Great relationship, learned a lot from it. Obviously, towards the end, life was going a certain way, and to cope with the daily slavery that I'd put myself into. But my day-to-day life was fine. I'm not complaining about that. First world problems, but it wasn't to my expectations, so I guess I resorted to using substances, and there's a lot that went into it. I'll go into a video on that separately, but imagine being in a place, I'm sure you have been in a place where it's felt like shit, man. You're going through a breakup, we've all been there. Unexpected. You get the call, you get the text. We need to talk. Or, can you come over? We need to talk about something. And then you try calling, this and that, you go over, it ended, you're begging, you'd never begged in your life before, now you're begging. This is my first breakup, first actual long-term breakup, but this is back in the day, maybe freshman, this is college, midway through college, sophomore, junior year, and I thought it was the end of it. Thinking back to negative, we put labels on things. We put labels on things that happened in our past. Oh, that was negative. That was positive. That was this. That was that. The negativity and positivity is really dependent on your survivability. That kind of rhymed. I don't even know if survivability is a real word, but I'm going to say it anyways. We label things good and bad depending on if it benefits us for our survival. So if you could think about a negative memory, a bad memory that, brings trauma. If you're sitting there listening to sad songs and thinking of an ex-girlfriend or someone, a betrayal from the past, and stewing on it. Have you ever thought about, look, I like music. I like all types of music, but the more older I get, the more my brain and my frontal lobe starts to connect the neurons with the amygdala, the frontal, I don't know, something's changing up there, and I feel it, and I'm sure you feel it too as you're watching this. Take a deep breath and relax and just understand that you can elevate your consciousness in daytime right now, current time. It doesn't have to be like a goal you're seeking. We seek to be happy our whole lives. We are seeking, studying for something. Oh, once I pass that test, or once I achieve that board, or once I do step 2, step 3, fuck, man. How many steps will there be till you're happy, till I am happy? And this is a stream of consciousness, probably makes some sort of sense, hopefully. But makes you realize that we're always seeking and searching for that deep breath. That sense of, when you see someone living in like a nice apartment, city viewed, Chicago, New York, something nice, the water, you're looking out. You're just picturing this, or you're watching like, YouTube short of someone's morning routine. And you're like, they got it made. They wake up, their coffee probably tastes better. The water they drink, the air they breathe probably feels better because they're in that top sky house, penthouse, nice view, beautiful girlfriend, wife. They might have kids if that's your thing. These things, you're thinking to yourself, once I got that 6-pack and I'm just sipping coffee, I don't have a boss anymore, I'm doing my work on a laptop and this and that, then I'll be happy. Yeah, that will bring happiness, achieving your goals, and I hope you do achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. I just threw out a random, you'll see a reel and you're like, what, that seems fun. That seems cool. You see a family, with the dog, this and that, and you're like, oh, that'd be cool once I'm at that point. Once everything's settled, in the sense, what does that mean once everything's settled? Once you're making enough money? Once you have the people in your life that you want? But you're going to realize the older you get, once you get those things in your life, the right people in your life, the right amount of money, the right relationship, the right flow, you will feel better, I guess, in a way. But if you don't internally feel good at where you're at right now, that even once you achieve those materialistic things, even if it may be spiritual, if you want to get to another spiritual level, you have to be happy and content in a way with the one you're in right now. And if that spiritual level is hell, if that spiritual level is you have to go through this hellish, label it how you will, the way you label things determine how you feel about it. So you might have to go through a time where it might not feel good. But maybe that's a stepping stone to having a realization, okay, there was a point where I didn't feel good, so now I feel good. There's times I'm so thankful I can go to sleep now without having restless legs, is shaking, is sweating, but feeling hot at the same. Once you've experienced heartache, betrayal of yourself, of your own body, of doing something to yourself where you're like, damn, I should have taken care of myself better. And then being healthier, being in a better spot mentally, physically, all of the above. Take those times of good times and think about the bad ones and reframe them. That's sort of what's helped me. I'm going to make another video going deeper, but let's see if I even post this. But if you guys found this even, interesting, if you related to it, let me know in the comments, write something, send me an email. I want to build a close connection with whoever watches my videos and answer your guys' question. And if you, relate to what I'm experiencing in my journey, which you'll learn more about, let me know. Love you guys.